Broadcasting live from the backstretch at Saratoga, this is the Handicappers Report. Brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Handicappers Report, coming to you live on the backstretch of Saratoga Race Course, Clare Court. It's another beautiful day, as long as it gets warmer later, which it's supposed to, and it's certainly a bet I would make. Alongside Seth, Merrow, I am Anthony Mormino, coming to you, as I have wanted to say, at the end of day 49. For, we had the 5-week, we had the 4-week, and we had the traditional. There you go.
Wow.
A garbage truck.
Yeah. They're tilting over there. It sounded like an accident over there.
And
but yeah,
since I
think they were just tipping over there.
Since I don't believe in the announcer jinx, as we talked about when Seth was marching to his championship versus the TU. No leaf blower. The leaf blower's work schedule has been dramatically changed over the last couple of years, to our benefit, and we are forever grateful for that. It's closing day. It's been about, I think it was 96. So you could do, I think next year will be the 30th anniversary of Naira running on Labor Day here. It's going to be a beautiful day today, and then Naira will be off until September 11th. The overnights are out. These guys will be going up to Woodbine. I'll be going over to Fort Erie a couple days before that. Looking forward to the next
second leg in the Canadian Triple Crown.
The only one on dirt, right? They got the synthetic, the dirt, and the grass.
Yep.
We'll
be up for the Woodbine Mile. There's usually a good undercut, and usually the next day, Sunday, there's a couple of 2-year-old races on turf that are winning in the Talma, and I can't think of the name of the other one.
And I swear that when you started doing the Woodbine Mile up there, I was at Los Alamitos one day on a Saturday, and that was when I think Churchill Downs first started doing the September meet, and not this time in the slop one. And what was intriguing to me was the Iroquois used to be a 1-turn mile prepping for the Kentucky Jockey Club, but it was in November, but they made it a mile and 16th race, et cetera. And I could, there I am at Los Al waiting for Seth to do Woodbine, and I'm watching Churchill Downs. It's a dramatically different world than the one we grew up with.
Yeah. Oh, from what we grew up with. You're just talking a few years ago. It's changed.
Yeah.
But they handed out the overnight in the press box yesterday for September 11th. 8 races, 1:10 post time, 4:40. It's wrapped up for opening
dramatically
day
different
down at Aqueduct. So, but they're getting a head start, obviously drawing the entries.
And also, I know you didn't count. One of the things I do when I do my daily log is, especially on opening day, when I get to the end, I know how many horses were entered for the whole card. It's so was it 8 races?
8 races.
8
to
races.
Kick things
so
off.
They fired a lot of bullets this past weekend, and I maintain the 27 on Saturday, Sunday is a record. I don't. We've run 14, but I can't remember a 13 on Sunday.
I said to somebody, traditionally that would have been 3 days worth of racing that we put into 2 days.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. That was a 50% bump up for those of us who daily public handicapping.
They're long days, and I kind of get them on. I don't even know if I get them on Derby or Travers Day or whatnot, but and I used to make the argument that you toss in a couple extra races from what we're kind of used to, and it's fun for people. We're plugged in every day, but you get people who come up once or twice, and so they can really spend a day and get some extra races and then go out to dinner. But not 14. I mean, the extra is 10 or 11, give them a little extra, but 14, I don't think anybody arrives first and leaves after the last.
That's the thing that people say, we don't have to take it in. Well, it's cumbersome to come here at 2:00 in the afternoon. You don't drive up to the front door and get out and all fresh and everything and start. Listen, I mean, I'm a capitalist, so, you can leave when you want to leave, come when you want to come, you deal with it, etc. But I think that off the record, I don't think anybody raises their hand. and then they were
it's just
off, like the
long
handle was
day.
off like 10% from the previous year. That's not, etc. A couple things. Obviously, we're gonna. This is when, my parents had passed away. They, at the end, they were pretty comfortable with the amount of time and newspapers I had for this. But here is when my wife will be like, "Oh my God!" So they were talking about racetrack calls, and I've alluded to this one before. Not alluded to, I've stated it many years ago. When Michael Rona first came to the United States, he had the fall championship meet. It's what they called the Hollywood Park meet, which started my freshman year at USC, 81. And, this was his call. It was tremendous. This is what I wrote. When he first called races at Hollywood Park 1990 in the Turf Cup, best line ever. Can he stay? He stays like a mother-in-law. And I believe it was concerning It's All Greek to Me to get 12 furlongs because he had been a miler mostly. And I think, just to extend about it, I think he got a knock on the door not to use that one again, or he voluntarily never used it again. But this morning, Michael Rona replied to it directly. He goes, "Good on you, Anthony, for the accurate recollection. It's amazing how often the line and context gets confused in people's mind." And my wife would be like, naturally, 35 years later, an obscure Sunday night race at about 9 o'clock our time, you nail it. And the guy who says it confirms that you got it exactly right, context and all.
It was a good line.
It's a great line. It was a tremendous line. He was new in this country. Trevor Denman had paved the way for that accent to be accepted, to the fans. And they actually loved Trevor Denman at Santa Anita. And Michael Rona came, and, he's still out there doing it. But it's now the best one. The former best direct reply I ever got was from Matthew Modine,
the actor.
The actor. They were talking about, probably his most famous movie, Vision Quest. He made it early in his career.
Oh, didn't he? He was in the, not to interrupt, but wasn't
No,
he was in the,
we're discussing movies.
Kubrick. Wasn't he in the Kubrick Army movie?
Oh, you're right. That's
Yeah.
You know what's funny about that? Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket.
I've never seen more than 3 minutes post the basic training one because it's just so great. But you're right. That's it. So his second best is Vision Quest, which is a likable movie. It's basically a high school Rocky movie, but more believable that a high school wrestler could take on the state champ. And there's a couple lines in it, but my favorite one is, when he goes around apologizing to his English teacher, in case this guy ties me up in a pretzel and I'm not able to talk, I want to thank you for being so cool. And he's doing his eyeglasses, cleaning them, and he says, Loudon, for the first time, I'm starting to worry about that other guy. And when I that's my favorite line in the movie. One of my favorite lines, and he returned the favor. He said, "Great call." He goes, "Nobody gets that line where Seth, what did you film production? What was your So Seth understands, moving, whether it's a scene or a line where the movie pivots is important, and it's a subtle one, and he knocks it out of the park, and I always like it. So,
and if folks haven't seen Full Metal Jacket, that's a good one. Anything Kubrick that was in fact, one of his earliest ones, Kirk Douglas, and now I'm forgetting it. How can I forget the name of this? That was an Army movie as well, and it had to be maybe his first one. And it's about 3 guys who get put up for court-martial in the First World War.
Paths of Glory.
Paths of Glory,
1957.
Yes. Yeah, really,
good call.
That's good.
The internet is great.
That's good as well.
On to
and then of course 2001.
Yeah. Which I'll tell you how good 2001 is, in my opinion. It still plays well.
Yeah.
And when something is nearly 65 years old, and you watch it, like there's some quirky things in it, but the movie, I tell people
the pacing, which is so different but so right on, in that scene with the revolving space station and the Blue Danube's playing. They just take their time that you would never see in a movie today. It just plays out, and the ship goes up and eventually synchronizes with it. Yeah.
It's right. My favorite scene is actually the opening scene in like a life lesson where Pack B comes over, takes over Pack A. Pack A finds a carcass, and to me, I take it as the first weapon in the history.
Goes up in the air and becomes the spaceship.
Yeah, it's tremendous. So, but yeah, I don't know the movie, but there it is, Passive Glory.
Passive Glory is Kirk Douglas, but it's definitely.
So I want to thank Michael Rona for taking the time.
Absolutely, that's good.
And it's I appreciate the fact that he's the fact that he took his time is great, but the true compliment were like everybody messes it up. You got the exact thing, but I saw you laugh when I was quoting his line. I mean, it's a tremendous line. It's a tremendous horse race.
I can say it. I'm not married. You got to watch out.
Well, this is two things. One is, and I said this before, when Mrs. Ryan passed away 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, excuse me. I never liked to call her my mother-in-law. I would almost always say Denise's mom because of the connotations that come with mother-in-law. She was a great lady. I mean, a great lady. And I called her mom, actually. My mom had passed away. She was just great. And I told Anthony, I said, this woman, the only grandparent you knew, carried the water for the other three. She did such a good job. She was a great lady.
Nice.
But for many people, I think it's inappropriate. All right, you want to get to the?
No, I don't. I think we can't ignore the Gold Cup yesterday.
That's why I say you want to get to it.
I thought you were getting to the the Gold Cup yesterday. Sitting up in the press box, there was talk of they're going to have to call the race.
Yeah.
And if you didn't see it yesterday, he came out of the gate. Horse comes over. Phileas Fogg comes over. Here we go.
Oh gosh.
You'll see.
Thank you,
over.
guys.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Comes over, and then there's a collision. Irad is momentarily sitting on White Abarrio's, and Mike Welch said, Edgar Zayas said he kind of grabbed me when he came over, and was trying to right himself and maybe get back on his horse. He obviously didn't, and then got hit by Sierra Leone. But he was on the track and sitting there, and he got up.
They're going to run.
Yeah, he's in the stretch. Got up momentarily and tried to crawl under the rail, which I think is their instinct and what they're supposed to do. And he made it just a foot and then sat back down. A bunch of people rushed out to him. And I guess he kind of explained what it was, because otherwise I don't think they would have moved him, hopefully. But there was 5 or 6 people out there, and they picked him up and walked him over to the ambulance, which had pulled up. And the subsequent great news out of it, first of all, Mindframe, Todd Pletcher reported yesterday that he came out of it with no problems. But Irad wound up down at Albany Med with complaining of wrist and ribs. But Dave Brennick tweeted out last night that according to his agent, he's cleared to ride. We'll see if that happens today, because I'm sure he's banged up a little bit.
The soreness is going.
It's just that was the great news coming out of it. But then it goes on, and Antiquarian gets it done. Sierra Leone, who Jock kind of tried to avoid Irad, so there was obviously an obstacle he had to overcome in the race, but justifiably so. You're looking out for the other guy. He winds up running second, but Antiquarian gets it done for Don Little and Centennial, who I had on earlier at the meet. So it's a nice win for them. But yeah, it was just a situation that was a little bit scary there for a while.
I think you averaged up the X or Twitter thing. They're looking at Kendrick for 30 days.
We'll see how it works out. I'm assuming, that when you see.
I like the people blaming Dylan Davis and go, obviously they've never driven a car before.
His horse comes out of the gate and takes a right turn. I'm assuming he was trying to correct, and the horse just overcorrected. But
he came out and made a left turn, right?
Came out of that gate and made a right turn. And then I think Kendrick tried to overcorrect and went too far left because he was veering out. But yeah, it was.
I think it's going to be severe.
It was clearly a scary situation.
It's we'll see. But
and eventually
it was extremely unfortunate because it was shaping up to be an athletic contest. And I think if you've watched half as many races that I am, or you've been an athlete or you're running, Sierra Leone having his cadence disrupted early is a big problem. Like, one of the most important things, certainly on root of ground races, and maybe more so in turf, is you want your horse to settle and get in a rhythm. particularly a horse with a running style like Sierra Leone. So anybody trying to minimize its effect, he just, nimbled over him. It was early in the race. He had plenty of time. That's not how it works. And I have not ever been on a horse, but it's my understanding they don't take change too well. They're not up there processing. Oh, that was just a mere rabbit in front of me. I can go. You didn't get the thing there. See, that fell right on the thing.
Oh, I did not.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's a mere rabbit.
Oh, that's kind of obscure for me to get.
Not you. That's right up your alleyway.
That is one of the funniest scenes ever in movies.
Freddie would have missed it, but for you, a movie guy, that is one of the greatest ever. Only people that haven't seen it
comes and knocks off his head.
Yeah, only people that haven't seen it don't realize how great it is. And I'll tell you what, the sword fight scene is right behind it. Come back here. Come back here. He's got no legs, no arms.
Yeah, flesh wound.
Mere flesh wound. Oh, tremendous. But I just jumped mere rabbit over there. But that's all right. I'm not saying Antiquarian wasn't winning. He was terrific yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess he's gonna get his high buyer speed figure, and rightfully so. But to say it didn't affect Sierra Leone, who it was early in the race, and said that's not how it works.
Yeah, no, it was. Like I say, it was a scary situation, but you're right. Antiquarian is legit. Was coming out of the good close-up finish back at the July 4th weekend, and
the Suburban.
Yeah, which again, I had Don Little on just before that, and I was walking down to the winner's circle out of the stands, but I said, "Man, that was a great performance." The nice second place finish was a nice performance in and of itself, but validated that. And it's a win and you're in. And Don Little after the. I have some tape coming up on Racing Across America of him in the winner's circle, and they say, probably they got the win and you're in, so they were going to talk it over, but likely to head over to.
You just win at 10 furlongs. The Classics at 10 furlongs.
Yeah.
You can't, and then I did watching the Fox broadcast that Todd Pletcher has to make some type of decision with mind frame. I mean, he didn't get anything out of the race. He's just he's got to figure it out. Do we just go to the Breeders' Cup directly, etc.? But so it's closing day. I can't tell you how many. I mean, at least 40. Oh, by the way, also terrible thing. Another obscure thing that I would remember. I think you do the math here. It was the 27th anniversary. Terrible. Of the awful situation with Mike Smith on the track, August 31st, 98. And that was basically the last time we saw Mike Smith in New York on a
wildly
permanent
altered
basis.
his career.
Yes. And
maybe for the better.
At the end of the day, I think there's no question that after he recovered and got his health, and, he's a demon, right? Is he 60 years old now? He's only slightly younger than me, so I think he's 60. He's in great shape, but he had been riding so well that summer, and then the terrible incident.
Dino just came through with the tweet.
Freddie.
Steve Bick.
Freddie.
Fred, according to Bick, he had heard from Steve Rushing, IRAD's agent. He'll be off his mounts today. He'll return Thursday at Kentucky Downs.
Soreness.
So, good news.
Body soreness.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the MIG was saying on the air that I found this contrarian to my thought that the jocks landing like feet first is not good. I'd be like, I think that would be the good one.
I think that would be the good one too. Although
but
with the momentum, you're kind of going to go right flat on your face.
You take a lot, right? But he was, but I might have misconstrued it that he was saying landing on your feet in the midst of a pack is bad. So I don't know, but it was. But
you go out and look. Skip Dickstein has some nice pictures. You'll see it probably in the
Barbara Livingston has it. How do you come up with that
Skip
picture?
It's kind of the same thing. He has a whole sequence.
They just must have been an automatic timer, right? You could never make that decision quick enough.
But you see him between horses, and but it was kind of, it was a wild situation. I just want to hit on a couple other things. First of all, congratulations to Anthony Affronti and the Times Union. He had Don't Jinx It on top at $81. I had my play of the day, my dark horse play of the day hit yesterday, and I had 5 winners. And I thought I'm going to wind up on top with the ROI with that amongst the 3 guys, but not after the $81 with Anthony.
$91, right? 44 to 1.
No, it was 81.50.
Oh,
Don't jinx it. I'm talking about.
Okay.
There was the $91 winner later in the day, but it's the sixth race. And so he zoomed. He was probably, I don't know. He was behind me with the ROI, but with that one and a few other winners on the day, he zoomed to the top. I think I'm $14 behind him now, and that may be tough to scratch into with one card left. But again, congratulations there, putting the $81 horse.
Yeah, but more importantly,
top.
you have been like secretariat in the Belmont.
I did manage to get the day yesterday.
Now you're just taking them to the woodshed. Yeah. It's just embarrassing now how well Seth's selling. So.
No, yesterday was.
You're all. I don't know. I've ever seen this. You're all. I mean, you're within 30. All three are within $32, and you're 14 behind. Sam is about quick math here, about $19 behind you. It looks like Sam is going to have the most winners, which most winners in ROI, lowest ROI. What do you think that puts me, folks? With thinking that, but that's not almost as good as your best bet. The Shepherd long shot 7 years ago to make it your best bet, a 30-1 morning line shot, but that's a tremendous job. So there you have it. But Seth is taking them to the woodshed.
And I will say,
are you like 4 for 4 this week or something?
It could be, because we're coming into Friday. Yeah.
Good job.
But
not a golf clap.
Yeah, they have. I keep the stats on Equidaily, which I trust. I don't not trust. Again,
you can say it because I'm going to back you up.
With them again there are a couple of off the turfers where I can't really. You get 3 selections. I can't really. So I have parsed out on the one sheet for Capital OTB and on Equidaily, and some of those came through. So my total is actually 4 maybe ahead of what.
In today's day and age, where it's more digital and not about paper space, that we could.
I would think there could be some
expand and. It's just digital.
Hey, here's the names of your picks, turf picks, but your numbers on your turf.
And I have to apologize because I'm trying to do the math. I think this might be the first show I've ever done on the half hour. I'm not sure, so I'm trying to subtract 30 and come out where we are.
Yeah.
Would you do? You start at the bottom of the hour on Saturday?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it's a quiet day. It's a beautiful day. It's the closing day, part 3. We don't know if there's going to be 3 parts next year. We're very sure there's 2 parts. So you got word?
No, I do not have word. But I did not have word. But other interesting news of the day. To me, very interesting news. When the first race goes and you look up at the tote board, don't be surprised to see $7.61.
That's right.
Because
today,
again, penny breakage in New York starts today. So
has anybody said where the old amount went, that it's not going there anymore?
No, but I'm sure you could look it up.
Why would somebody not have reported this is at the end of the year, this is going to be, and this is the bettors, it's our money. We deserve it. But there's a group that's about to not get checks that at the end of the year won't be tip money. Yeah. So I'm intrigued where the breakage went after all. And I tell you one thing, do you think these bettors, if there are any show bettors out there in life anymore, you're about to have, seventh heaven.
Yeah.
Because, the old days, it was going to pay $2.19. You got down to $2. That was 45% of your profit margin went to somebody that we don't know who.
Yeah.
It seems like no one's volunteering up the information to let us know the money used to go here, but now it's going back to the bettors. Because you would think that would be the first thing they say. The money's being returned to the bettors. Okay, that's one part of the equation. Anybody that took math classes, that means the other side. And I can't even hazard a guess to whom it went.
I think I've heard before. It was like a charity kind of thing, I think. But
you didn't hear at the press conference. It's going to the bettors, and Group B will not be getting money.
I think you can look it up. But
what do you think it was per day?
Per day, I don't know. But over the course of the year, I'm sure it adds up.
We got the September business plan?
Yes.
We sent Freddie out to get it. Freddie's on a roll today.
Because again, today, kicks off September, obviously. And just looking here, first week's kind of quiet. Kentucky Downs back in action on Thursday. Kentucky Downs on Saturday. There'll be a player's bankroll on Saturday down at the Clubhouse Racebook, so keep that in mind for this week. Again, kind of quiet otherwise, but coming up on Saturday, player's bankroll.
We talked about it at some point during this season. I don't know if it was part 1, 2, or 3, that odd Saturday that Naira took off, or Sunday was it? We really couldn't figure it out. This coming weekend, because Churchill doesn't start to the 11th, one of the quietest weekends of the year. I mean, it's amazing.
You would think
it's
Kentucky
amazing. Remember, we have
Downs
Churchill Downs and Naira. Racing at Aqueduct returns September 11th. That will be opening day for the September meet at Churchill Downs.
And again, should remind folks, yesterday there was the $81 winner early. There was the one you talked about, Brooklyn Dance, at $91. $33 Renew the Blue in that late pick six, and that all led to pick six carryover today. It is $165,000 pick six carryover. And don't forget, everything today, because it's the last day of the meet, has a mandatory pay. So, I mean, even if you wind up with another crazy pick six sequence, maybe you have 4 out of 6 or 5 out of 6 to collect, they're paying out the whole pool.
The whole pool. All right. Steve Bick with the final DePaula play of the day.
And they're off. Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford right now at the DePaula Auto Group. Take off the savings you need on the vehicle that you want. New cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and all electric. Delivered with DePaula savings. And the DePaula Auto Group has hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Remember, DePaula can service any make and model and has over 100 service bays. So buy DePaula. Think DePaula for all of your automotive needs. DePaula Auto Group. Chevrolet, Mazda, Ford, and pre-owned. DePaula.com.
Hey, everybody. Steve Bick back with you for the DePaula play of the day and the last one of the season, Labor Day Monday, after just an unbelievable weekend of racing, including the spill-marred Jockey Club Gold Cup. Irad Ortiz, though, cleared to ride on Monday, which is just unbelievable. And agent Steve Rushing says he'll see how Irad feels. He does have a full complement of mounts. So I would expect him to ride if he's not too sore. Just amazing. Want to close out the season with the kind of horse that we typically like. And it's been the summer of Bill Mott in a lot of ways, given sovereignty and the Travers win that had eluded Mott up to this point in his career. Well, Jane Lyon, Summer Wind, has got an American Pharaoh filly out of the Galileo mare of hers, Cleopatra's Key. And she makes, I think, tremendous sense in the last race of the season. 12-1 is a very generous price. She's the 6 horse. Let's send everybody into the fall with a win. Get lucky. The DePaula play of the day, the 6, Cleopatra's Key in the last race of the season. Thanks, everybody, for a great 2025 Saratoga.
And they're off. Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford right now at the DePaula Auto Group. Take off the savings you need on the vehicle that you want. New cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and all electric. Delivered with DePaula savings. And the DePaula Auto Group has hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Remember, DePaula can service any make and model and has over 100 service bays. So buy DePaula. Think DePaula for all of your automotive needs. DePaula Auto Group. Chevrolet, Mazda, Ford, and pre-owned. DePaula.com.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? If you're just tuning in, you missed all movie obscure references by yours truly.
More movie than
you missed Michael Rona, complimenting Michael Rona. We've brought in Full Metal Jacket. We've brought in Vision Quest. And our boss is probably sitting there. All right, well, at least the people that tuned in at 9 o'clock regular time didn't miss anything. And that's where we are. So we will get through the
last day. I'll ask you. I talked to some people over there
please.
on the front side, and again, for us, we're plugged in every day. I think it's different for folks who come up 2 or 3 times a year. But when you're plugged in every day, it's bittersweet the last day because I'm ready. I'm ready. People ask me for the last 4 days. You ready? Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to take a little break. But everybody I talked to kind of agreed. By Thursday, we'd be ready to come back
Well,
again.
this is the part. I'm somewhere. I'm in that boat because I'm pissed we're not running at Aqueduct on Wednesday.
Yeah. That is very different from the old days. The old days, it was a one-day turnaround because I remember I was working with a television production company back in the day, and we came up here on that move up. That was a day, just to show them running around and trying to plug everything in, and so it's different.
All right. We got 11 and 30 minutes with breaks and everything, so it'll be speed handicapping, literally 2-year-olds going 6 in the opener.
5, 4, 1, and 2. Epic Quest on top. They paid $1 million for this runner in the barn of Todd Pletcher. There were 3 siblings. One called Street Loot won the first 2 and 7 of the first 8. Another one called A Lot of Hope won the debut and 2 of the first 3. So I think there's win early here. Certainly Pletcher can have them ready. I'll go with Epic Quest. Oscar's Hope. Just look at the workouts underneath for the Tommy Amos runner. Almost lived up to it as the favorite in debut. Running second. Amos having a very good meet. This one is very, very playable. And then Winning Moment. Complexity very good with first-time starters. There was a sibling called Call Me Spicy. Second in the first 2 starts, then ripped off 3 straight. That's the lone sibling. So there's some win early, top and bottom winning method in the mix as well. There are a couple others in here that are interesting as well. But I went 5, 4, 1, and 2.
I'm 5, 4, 1. Also, Oscar's Hope is the only horse who has any experience, and it's the type of experience I like. He got a 79, which if he had won and running second, that's where I want to be. And he's a twirling candy, etc. I will say, I think Todd Pletcher must have taken it personally when I said a Hall of Fame trainer who's flying under the radar at a meet, because he decided that the final 2 weeks under the radar wasn't for him.
Yeah, it wasn't in his wheelhouse. Second race, we're looking at maiden specials. They're going the 1-turn mile.
Actually, he's such a nice person. He probably doesn't even know I said it or would get upset. But the last 2 weeks have been phenomenal. 4-2-5, only in America. Todd Pletcher runner. The last race. And Seth pointed this out to me. Lost Rider, Equine Ambulance. It's just what they've kind of gone to. You don't see Vandolph or anything like that. That was April 11th. Makes the first start off of that. The debut, I liked rooting. A very difficult thing to do. A young 3-year-old. Hey, go try a mile 16th at Gulfstream. For a second duration, going out for Chad Brown. Big race, 2 races back. An okay race going 7/8 up here. Gets back to the mile race that he ran big at Belmont. And then Time to Win. One quick thing I want to say, because I don't want to miss it. The angle I saw the mile race yesterday, I forget which one exactly. They went to the Fox view from behind, was perfect. You could see where my top pick, the 5, who had nothing in the lane, had a straight line and used it to get onto the lead. But could have great shot, the behind angle.
Watch, I didn't notice.
Yes.
I didn't know what to do with your top pick, only in America. I have no arguments there, but I went 2, 3, 5, and 6. I put 2 duration on top. Chad Brown trainee just comes in good form. I mean, seems to be a good fit for this one. Usually a Chad Klarovich runner is going to break the maiden before start number 7. So I'll put this one on top. Good post position. Stretches out a little bit after this 7 furlongs, but has gone a mile nicely in the past. Barb in the second spot, the number 3. Mike Maker trainee, like the top pick, has some experience. 5 starts so far. And, the last 3 certainly have been pretty good. So I'll put that one in the mix as well. And Time to Win, first-time starter from Chad and company. Sibling Juju Map, second in debut, won the next 2 starts, and not this time on top. Can't ignore that. This horse could be dangerous in debut. 2, 3, 5, and 6.
All right, on to the third state-bred maiden claimers on the Mellon Turf Course, a mile and 16.
6, 9, 5, and 7. I'll put New York Scrappy on top. Mark Cassie trainee going maiden special weight to maiden claiming for the seasonal debut. We've been talking about the whole. Yeah, you're right. 10 years ago, this would have been unheard of.
This is. I just wanted to interrupt your flow, which I've done far too often this season. But my plan is to take batches of the printed out form
because you said
on my plane rides, and I'm going to do the laborious through entire field, every horse that ran here. And I might, because I'm planning a lot, I might take, even if I don't care if you scratch it, I'm taking all the entries and I'm going to get some data on how many horses made their seasonal
because
debut.
It was notable, certainly. New York Scrappy, though, on top. Seasonal debut with the class relief and a nice workout middle of August as well. Second spot, Make Your Moment. This one's been racing in this kind of company for a while now for Ray Handel, but has been doing so competitively. And Ragazzo d'Oro in the third spot, the Bruce Brown trainee, I think is an interesting fit in here.
I agree.
The numbers, I think, match up
Yes.
nicely, and you're looking at 20-1 on the morning line. I think the horse is playable. 6, 9, 5, and 7.
And for me, it's not a Mount Everest race. We're talking state-bred maiden claimers, but New York Scrappy, is in my mix. But I mean, my other horses are 8 and 10-1, and my thing was I just wasn't going to put New York Scrappy seasonal debut and first-time tag. That's a powerful angle for Mark Casse, but I took Powered by Cole. Since this horse has dropped down for a tag 3 races, the final running positions have been about the same. Now, what's interesting, or it shouldn't be that interesting, the buyer speed figure is about the same. So water has reached its level. I'm just hoping, I know I'm on the outside, but I'm 8-1. I'm hoping today is the day, and hope is the right word. New York Scrappy, I'm not going to throw him out of the list because, quite frankly, seasonal debut is actually like a 2 thumbs up nowadays, which is remarkable. And then pre-trial statement, double-digit odds. I like the most recent effort, 10-6-4.
Yeah, the Mark Hennig train. I might have moved that one into my mix, but for the post position. But I have no argument there with your top pick either. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, more for this closing day card at Saratoga. Stay tuned.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
The only thing better than watching the races is watching your own racehorse. With nearly 20 years experience in the racing industry, Bonaventure Stables' share-based ownership program enables everyday fans to become part owner of a thoroughbred for far less than you might think, with all the ownership perks at Saratoga, Belmont, Aqueduct, and other great tracks. Experience the thrill and lifestyle of owning your own thoroughbred racehorse. Learn more at bonaventurestables.com.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report. Wrapping up Saratoga season again. Boo-hoo. Mixed emotions again, as always, when we get to the end of the Saratoga meet. But we have one more day. Looking forward to it.
I've said this. If they ran 4 days a week, I could take 20 weeks.
I will say,
they want to run from Derby Day to Columbus Day and run 4 days, I'm in.
As things are winding down here, yesterday was a good crowd. And it was an early crowd. I think that the giveaway.
My man said, Freddie said the giveaways were going by 10:30. I think that's a little hyperbole, but
I went over right after the first race. I was doing some work here right after the first race. The coupons are gone signs were in all the windows, so they were
okay. So that's
very popular.
So
I heard
Freddie, you're in.
I heard some people.
Thought you were being a little hyperbolic, but
I heard some people talking about getting here early and parking was a problem, and so there was a nice crowd.
It worked.
Fourth race this afternoon, optional claimer starter allowance, a mile on the grass.
I think the morning line adds up to 35-1 for me, folks. I am 210-5. Ready, Sweat, Twirl. My thought was, boy, building on that last race and Manny Franco getting in a hotter zone, I'll take my chances. Now, I'm scheduled to break from the number 5 post position, which I liked with Ready, Set, Twirl. I'm very happy to take a flyer on this runner who shortens up to a mile. I'll take my chances. Not at 34-1 today, but at 34-1, I would still like Ready, Set, Twirl. Printer's Alley, who's 12-1, who probably would have been higher in my mix if it didn't draw the tough number 10 post position. And then Desperate Proposal. Number 5 scheduled the break for the number 3 post, 2:10.5.
11.83 in the one entry, and the 11 is no bonus from the post position for me. Irad scheduled to ride if you weren't tuned in earlier. He had that fall yesterday.
Freddie coming through.
And then went to the hospital, but things looked okay. He was cleared to ride today, but we were wondering if he would. And Dino came up with the tweet from Steve Vick, who, according to Irad's agent, off today, but he'll be riding at Kentucky Downs on Thursday.
So you're indicating the nickname isn't sticking.
I've
been calling Freddie for like the last 10 days.
I could have gone either way.
Okay.
I was giving him credit on the last day.
All right. We're giving credit. It's kind of like, I think Freddie's a
no, you're right, because he was the guy for Johnny. But again, double check. That wasn't official, but I would assume it's right.
It's official enough for me.
Double check on horses like Lachey's for changes. But I do think this horse is absolutely live off that race down at Colonial, seasonal debut for this one to build on. And again, look for a potential rider change. Dreamlike in the second spot. Tries the turf for Linda Rice off the claim. I thought that was kind of intriguing. Claims the horse, comes back, moves the horse up a little bit, and tries the turf. That, to me, was interesting at a price. And then Ennistown in the third spot. Mike Trombetta, trainee, coming in off a nice win to break the maiden last time. Sometimes it's tough to move that next level, but if this horse can keep going what we've been doing, improving numbers, certainly a player. In the fourth, 11.83 in the one entry.
Imagine Kendrick's agent calling to get Irad's mount.
Oh, jeez. Oh.
On to the fifth.
And I will say, Lascano, who had the broken collarbone, I think 3 horses he was named on yesterday won, if I'm not mistaken.
Ryan Moore got hurt in Europe.
Ryan Moore's thing was wild, because I saw the headline, so I went to look what happened to him, and it sounds like it'd been something that bothered him for 2 months, and they went and took an x-ray, and he's got a fracture in his femur. How painful must that have been?
It's almost like Gibson when he got hit off the line drive and he threw 3 more pitches, and then he collapsed on the mound with a broken leg. Yeah, it's maiden claimers coming out of the Wilson chute.
1, 4, 2, and 5. I'll go with Last Man Standing on top. Again, first off the claim for Linda Rice, and drops. I think they may just be shopping for a win here with this situation. It would usually make me scratch my chin a little bit, but I think this horse could absolutely be a player. Volt in the second spot. Comes in off a couple of starts since a January to June layoff. So, again, a layoff that is legit. Third start back, and a little bit of class relief both add up to being logical. And then Chad Brown and Klarovich are dropping career risk. I think that's always kind of a potent angle to look at. I have it 1, 4, 5, and 2.
Linda Rice, first person I saw this morning. 3, 10, and 6. Cyber Beast takes blinkers off, first off the claim. It was a good effort, going 9, shortens up to 8. I think that's good. And it's like, you just hold your breath. The maiden claim, and you put in a claim, don't win. That's the worst thing. And not that it takes rocket surgery, but I did talk to 2 people, and both said the same thing. It's like a stake through the heart. It's just not good. Reaction on the outside off of the little freshing went 9 at this level, shortens up, and then Kavanaugh, who I liked recently, first off the claim for Bruce Brown, 3, 10, 6.
Race number 6 this afternoon. Again, they're on the grass. State bred maiden special, 2-year-old fillies going 5.5 on the turf.
I'm trying to think. Big Brown, I think, debuted on closing day in the turf race. I think Edgar Prado got hurt in a gate accident, and that's how Jeremy Rose got the mount. I think that's what happened on closing day many years ago. 6-1-9 for me. 9 firsters in the main body. I thought I made a star notation on the 5 is the only one who has run. Seth took multiple AEs on closing day.
Yeah.
Linda Rice sends out the 6. I'm not going to try and pronounce Arinata. I think I'd be close. Lady Sheila Stable, be easy to pick out the silks. Harpy for second, who, to me his horse was working at Gulfstream Park in the beginning of August, ships up for closing day. And then St. Margaret on the outside for Jim Ryerson, who we almost got home together, got run down in the last lip, 6-1-9.
11, 12, 4, and 7 for me. And they're both on the AE list. They're 1 and 2 on the AE list. So a little help gets us in. Yeah. And I probably should have added another one at the bottom just in case they don't. but I wasn't pulled in any directions necessarily. But To Be Wed, sibling called Red Moon won the debut. Another sibling called Dark Wings over Dubai won the first 2 starts of the career by Yao Pan. If this one sneaks in for Horacio De Paz, To Be Wed is interesting. Dancing with Destiny for Mike Deeney off a pretty good-looking career debut up here. And then Sassy Sats in the 3rd spot. Sibling called Don't Fly, Stand By. Won the first 3 starts of the career. And Yangtze River won the debut. So I thought there was some win early for the Ray Handel runner. 11, 12, 4, and 7.
And I'm slow to say this because it isn't public access, but I have thought for many, many years, the most beautiful shot of Saratoga is when you're over on this outside rail looking at the building.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is so beautiful right now. It is not eerily quiet. It is beautifully quiet right now.
And it's a
except for my
gorgeous
rail
facility.
Oh, absolutely.
People probably don't talk a lot about that enough, the architecture and whatnot. Although where I am every day, they got to do something about that press. It just sticks out like a wart on the roof.
Didn't they not have a men's room for about 115 years? It doesn't
No,
seem like it was
they didn't have a woman's room.
A woman's room.
A long time.
They didn't have, it's not, well, it's not quite, wasn't quite as well thought out as Finger Lakes, who thought it out and said, nah, we'll be right back.
It only takes one upset to make history, and now you can be part of Saratoga's long tradition at the Dark Horse Mercantile. The Dark Horse Mercantile offers a carefully curated selection of clothing, gifts, and home decor, from one-of-a-kind vintage racing memorabilia to select brands like Barber and Under Armour, as well as exclusive Dark Horse branded merchandise. So celebrate the Dark Horse in all of us at the Dark Horse Mercantile, downtown Saratoga, where the smart bet is always the Dark Horse.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
You like free money? Well, Capital OTB gives its players plenty of opportunities to cash in. At Capital OTB, there are so many ways for horse players to receive bonus dollars by simply participating in promotions such as our bankrolls, bounty bets, online handicapping contests, and much, much more. Plus, with Capital OTB's Player Rewards program, you get actual cash back. So what are you waiting for? Log on today at CapitalOTB.com or CapitalOTBBet.com and claim your free money.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. They certainly used this Wilson chute these last 3 days. Entry-level allowance fillies.
This is a tough race. I wrote that at the top of the page. 3, 4, 10, and 2. I put fully subscribed on top. Debated making that one my dark horse play of the day, but I couldn't. We talked about the layoff, and Chad can certainly have them ready, but I just couldn't pull the trigger off of a layoff like this. But the lone start back in October of 2024 was very good for Chad and Klarovich, and if we get back to that, I think the 4-1 price looks very generous. Points in the second spot. That race 2 back is a little too hard to ignore. Clearly did not live up to that, but I think that last race may have been a little bit of a trouble trip. Was ranked in there, and so I'm going to kind of forgive that. Second start off a layoff. We'll hope to get back to that nice number 2 back and maybe be the one to beat. And Meersalt in the third spot could be a little bit live up the layoff from mid-June, but certainly ran well that day to break the maiden. And again, the post position is going to be something to overcome there. So 3, 4, 10, and 2.
Not that it's a big deal. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Merceau. That is a very upscale French white wine.
Oh, I'm sure you're right. I was thinking it was like a. And I was looking at
it might not be. They might have.
I was looking at the breeders, and I was thinking it was some kind of play on somersault.
Okay,
yeah,
that could be it too.
No, but I think you're probably right because I'm not familiar with wine at all.
but it doesn't flow. Almost.
Yeah,
It doesn't flow from the name. I'm 314 here. I mean, it's almost become the opposite for me about certainly in some barns, and Chad Brown is the Pied Piper of it. Not only is the layoff seasonal debut not a negative, it's an attraction. So I'm with you with the 4 also, but I split them with Q, the Duck Boats, 3-1-4.
8th race this afternoon. We're on the grass at a mile and a 16th with non-winners of 1 allowance tights.
When I say this is a compliment. I think this race is wide open, and I am 3-8-6 in the board. And Celtic Charm, Bill Mott's runner, makes a 3rd start off of a December 23 layoff until July. I expect the horse to run very well in here. For a second, Louis Proctor going out for Chad Brown. 3rd start since last summer at Deauville. And then big, beautiful Anthony Dutrow, who's had limited starters up here, but has had a terrific meet. 3-8-6.
I made 6-9-1. I put Louise Proctor on top. It's Chad. It's Peter Brandt. Came over from Europe and put in a couple of good starts here so far. Improved start 1 to start 2. And now the 3rd start back. Beaten favorite last time and just beat. It just seems primed for a good effort today. Big Beautiful in the 2nd spot. Yeah, the Tony Dutrow runner has shown some talent, including a start here in early June, the Belmont Stakes weekend. Just missed that day. I think another one that could be primed for a good effort. And in the 3rd spot, another lightly raced horse that could move forward with some experience at this level under the belt last time in the 2nd career start. Curlin's Angel in the mix for me. 8-6-9-1.
And 50 years ago, when closing day was Saturday, the hopeful, I think General Assembly won the last Saturday closing day. The hopeful, 2-year-olds.
5, 1, 3, and 2. I'm going to put Butane on top. Bob Baffert elects to ship across country with a horse that won the debut in very fine fashion, comes in with a bullet workout at Del Mar. The horse looks legit to me. There are a couple others in here. You don't know with these now because, again, did I just get darker because one of my lights just went perfect timing, though, last day for the light to kick out. But
they were rationed out perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. If they all, by the time 10:30 rolls around, if they've all turned off, that'll be perfect timing. But again, 21st century racing, they come in very lightly raced, and they all have the potential to step forward. We'll see. But I'll go with the Baffert horse on top. Curtain call going out for West Point. They, of course, have Ewing in the barn holding the money for the 2-year-olds, but this one has been a good 2-year-old as well with a maiden breaker that looks like legit. And then Romeo in the 3rd start with a nice win down at Churchill back in June and a bullet workout coming in. Steve Asman has this one in the barn now and likely a player. 5, 1, 3, and 2.
I'm 1-8-5 here. A lot of guessing going on. I mean, Romeo scares me for just one angle at all. And, he goes into Steve Asmus's barn, but he's got 3 races under his belt.
Yeah,
it's a big advantage. But Curtain Call has 2, and I'm not selecting him because of the effort in the slot. Because you should know how I feel about. I put them in a little box and I move on. 1-8-5 in the hopeful.
All right, we'll take another break. Our final break back, and we'll look at the last 2 for Saratoga 2025. Stay tuned.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady, where the good times flow.
Welcome back. Let's jump in with the second stake of the afternoon. The Sarinac will go a mile and a 16th on the grass.
They don't put it in anymore. Would you hazard a guess at what running this is?
Since you mentioned it, I'll go 100.
You can't even be close. My guess is 155.
Okay.
This is probably especially when it's run at Belmont, maybe the second oldest Belmont race besides the Belmont Stakes itself. But the Sarinac for 3-year-olds, listed stakes, I have it 3, 11, 10. And I will say that I'm fishing with the 3, but I am very happy to take 9 to 2. You would imagine that debut, he would never see turf. But as I said, it was a slop effort. I don't really count them. And then that dirt effort was not good in the second race. But boy, the American Pharoah offspring got to the turf. Bill Mott's in the Hall of Fame at a young age for a reason. I'm taking Stars and Strides, not to be confused with his other runner, Stars and Stripes. Then I'm on the outside, which is an uphill fight. If 13 Colonies and Versus had been in the first 7 spots, maybe Stars and Strides wouldn't be my top pick. But 13 Colonies, I like the last effort. Drew a poor post position then. Versus Kelly Breen, third start since early April. It's a contentious listed stakes, 3, 11, 10.
I am 7, 1, 3, and 6. I thought the 9 was interesting as well. Mibago, who I've liked really kind of throughout the career. But I went with Crudo as my dark horse play of the day. And again, yesterday's dark horse. Go back and watch. Yesterday's dark horse was Boomington, and now I've forgotten the race number. But I tweeted it out with a shot of the trouble. This horse on the turn, and I needed one. I've been treading water with the dark horse, and we've had a lot of second place finishes. And so to get one at a decent 7 to 1, second to last day of the meet was a little bit of a good feeling for me, certainly yesterday, and hopefully for people who maybe follow the thought. But I was not feeling good about mid-stretch. On the turn, starts to make a move, and then mid-stretch got completely jammed up to the point where I'm thinking, well, I'll go in and talk about this horse as a trip note tomorrow. And then John Velasquez gets the horse a good spot and runs them all down late and gets up literally by a nostril. But it was a good feeling yesterday to get one. We'll see if we can put a couple together here. And again, thanks to Marianne and Maddie down at the Dark Horse Mercantile and the Presence of Saratoga for their sponsorship of the Dark Horse Play of the Day throughout the meet. Go down and visit them on Broadway in Saratoga. But the Dark Horse here, 7, 1, 3, and 6, as I say, Crudo on top. I've said it over the years that you get to summertime and you get some of the 3-year-olds who they felt like we have to try. We have a horse with some talent. We have to try and go against the big guys. And they don't quite live up to it, and they'll move over to the turf, and they wind up having a little class edge maybe when they do that. They have to have a little turf, and this one has a little turf breeding, certainly. But this horse did win the Sir Barton at Pimlico Preakness weekend, tried the Belmont, not so good there, tried the Curlin, 4th behind Chancellor McPatrick. But now they go over to the turf. And again, we'll see if this one works out. But with a little turf breeding for the Pletcher trainee, I'll put that one in the mix. John Velasquez on board, who had a great weekend, obviously. The big stakes win yesterday following up. And somebody tweeted out his day on Saturday. I think he took the red eye, got back in at like 7:45 down in New York City, had to come up to Albany, caught a nap, came back to the races. And
I do that 10 times a year.
Yeah, but you're not winning grade ones when you follow. You're mowing the lawn. You're mowing the lawn. That's not the same. But Crudo on top for me. It's a home run for her. Crudo on top for me as the dark horse play today. Race number 10, horse number 7, Crudo. Second spot, Ashbury Park in the second spot because of the maiden breaker 2 back and having trouble in the next race. Got some experience at that next level and probably is worth taking a shot in here. and then Stars and Strides in the third
Wow.
spot, as you mentioned. Appreciated the turf last time. So for me, 7, 1, 3, and
All right.
6.
I want to say something before we get to the 11th because I'm relatively sure this is the last time that I work with Dan Hayes, who is back in the production room downtown. We've probably worked together 25 plus years. I understand he's retiring at the end of the year after unbelievable time. I have always said this about the guys who work here. They like horse racing. They're dialed into it. It's not just a production job they do, so they help with a lot of things that
Dan's plugged into the foreign racing.
They know, and that has been beneficial. And when your name ends in a vowel, you're usually associated with having a very good memory. And they had made a nice board on the day that Denise and I were getting married a long time ago, 22 years ago. And you don't forget things like that. But I don't know how long Dan's been with Capital. I don't know how long he's been with TV. I've been doing it 28 years. He's been here for the vast majority of them. So, Dan, thank you for all the work. You used to work with me on Horses and Courses with the other guys, and pretty sure this is the last time we teed up together. 3-year-old.
He'll be here for a while.
He'll be here. Yeah. Yes. Maiden special weights, going a mile in the finale.
You mentioned the wide open race earlier. I have this one labeled as wide open. 9, 5, 1, and 12. I'll put every vote counts on top. It's Chad. And I debated making this one a play of the day. But again, a little bit of a layoff concerned me. But it's Chad and Klarovich coming off a debut that wasn't much. The one I talked about earlier, it was a winning debut. This one was 6th in that debut effort. But this is the kind that take a little time off and come back and can come back improved. And with these connections, I don't think that's out of the question, and a nice price. So maybe we wrap up our meet with a good one here. Second spot, Say Yes to Dreams. Also a Chad Brown runner coming off the United States debut that, like the top pick, wasn't much, but I think the horse has the shot of improving on that. And Love on the Left Bank in the third spot comes over from France, moves into the Miguel Clement barn, who's had a nice meet off a decent try overseas in the debut, and should be a player as well. 9, 5, 1, and 12.
And another thing, Johnny V probably flew cross country in a lie flat seat and then probably had a car service drive him up. I have neither of those things.
I thought the thing said he flew up, though.
Oh, even better. Oh. No, that's a tremendous job.
It's all crazy. Yeah.
5, 8, 12 for me. Say Yes to Dreams. Chad Brown's runner making the second start of the year. My Sharona, for those who remember the summer of 79. Ray Handel's runner makes the second start since January. Then Divine Rose. Oh, what a way to finish. Making the seasonal debut from the outside. 5, 8, and 12. And I always thought, am I doing the math right? So the rails are up and 12 are running. I thought 10 used to be the maximum going a mile.
Oh, I don't know.
But now you have the rails up, which, by the way, affects how many horses can run.
Oh, yeah.
But
My Sharona, I will toss out the My Sharona story that's interesting to me. Being a Syracuse guy, when I was there, still playing in Manly Fieldhouse, and if you got to 100, they would give out free fries at the local Wendy's or Burger King or whatever.
Yes.
And so you're always and so Sienna came up to play at the Fieldhouse one time, and we were on the verge of 100, and they started playing the music to My Sharona, but it was beat Sienna. So.
Oh, geez, that's good. I will say that if you were local, that was like the concert of the summer, and apparently it wasn't that well received. But that's 46 years ago, I think.
I remember the song. I don't remember the band.
The Knack.
Oh,
Get the Knack was the name of the album.
Yeah.
You talk about one-hit wonders.
Yeah.
Because it was a tremendous hit, and they had nothing else. Anything else now that I've run over into your second show?
I don't have any guests, so that's fine. I taped some stuff in the winter circle.
And I didn't get an invitation, so that shows you how well this is going. He's going, you talk enough.
But I've been in the winter circle over the past, this week on some big performances, the Spin Away and Rhetorical in the West Point. And I taped some stuff, and every morning I'd had it ready to go, and we haven't gotten to it yet. So I thought this is the perfect day to just tee some of that stuff up. So we'll get to that on Racing Across America. And again, we're going to wind up a little bit early because early post time today up here.
You didn't even mention what time is post? 12:05. Okay.
And that means we'll be off before the NYRA pregame. That's why we start early, so we can get to them. but now I've forgotten where I was going with that.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
So-
No, because I got into what I was doing with the.
So are there no humans on Race Across America?
Oh yeah, you said we're running into your show, and I was just teeing up what I have on the show. I had
That's
to
what I
take the
was
tape
trying to
stuff
lead you back to where you
I
were.
had to tape stuff on the show. So that's so we can go right into it. But I do not have. I have things at the end of the next show that I will tee up, but we're wrapping it up for you at the last day of the Saratoga meet.
What's the date of the Woodbine Mile that you guys are going to?
2 weeks from yesterday, is it? Or 3 weeks from yesterday?
I don't think I could. It was kind of on the fence that I could go
It
to
is
that
2 weeks from yesterday.
and hook up with you guys, but I am going to on Tuesday. So you're going to be that. You're leaving Thursday, 48 hours after I get back from the Prince of Wales Stakes at Fort Erie. I got a Gene Kirshner. What is it? The Buffalo Democrat.
Buffalo News.
News that he writes for to let him know that he's coming, and I'm, as long as
I asked him if he was coming to the Woodbine Mile. He didn't think so, but he is going to Prince of Wales, which is a hop, skip, and a jump from
for
Buffalo.
him.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. Another track, and as I said with young Anthony at college, I expect to visit many tracks that you have visited. The three that I think of, I associate with you is Tampa naturally, and then Oaklawn Park with your sister, and then the fairgrounds, which I think you once said you did the same trip, right?
Triple, yeah. I started visiting my sister in Northwest Arkansas, went down to Oaklawn, spent the day there, and then liked it so much I spent a couple of days down at the fairgrounds, and then on to spending some time down in Florida.
I think all three will be great.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm looking forward to much.
They're all really nice.
We say this all the time. No, I know the show doesn't end at 10. There are guys behind the scene. We call him Freddie. He probably doesn't realize it is a compliment and intended to be a compliment. But Dino and Anthony, who have been up here every single day I have driven up here, and everybody that does what we do says the same thing. We have the easy part. They pay me to talk and dress funny. So that's pretty good. But they're here before the meet. They'll be here after the meet.
I will say, not to interrupt you, but
that's okay.
I'll give you the compliment.
187-1.
I'll give you the compliment because, and I'll mention it on my show as well. The hearing from people all season long is just great. But a lot of people are like, "Man, your guy's a sharp dresser." And you're a sharp dresser.
Thank you.
I am definitely.
Nice.
I'm the sartorially. I'm the. If that's a
challenge
word. Yeah. No, I'm the weak link.
Oh,
I'm the weak link.
And one of the probably it's so singular here that we have a very high percentage of enormously nice fans. Not every racetrack. It just asked, when he was alive, Willie Shoemaker getting booed at Belmont. So the fans up here are so gracious. It's remarkable. That is part of the mix. That a trainer who I won't name once said, and it wasn't a high profile trainer once said, he goes, when I come up to Saratoga and run, it's like I'm like somebody, like people and I'm like, I don't have, and this is the old days. He goes, I don't have that for 11 months. He goes, I walk into a bookstore and people know who I am. They're like, they want to talk to me and everything, and they're nice about it. They're like, I'm like 1 for 37, and they're like, oh, how you doing? I saw that horse win. And they're like, and that seems to be atypical. So I'll get out of here. Only ran 9 minutes over. He stays, I go. Good luck, everybody, today. If you need to get out, I'm rooting for you. It's a great weather day. I don't know when next time is. Apparently, Naira doesn't know when next time is yet, except for Belmont week. But enjoy the day. Have a great autumn. Enjoy yourselves up at Woodbine. Maybe we'll have a call-in Breeders' Cup Day. I don't know, but it's been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great Labor Day.
This has been the Handicappers Report, brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.